How's it going? My name is Brent from Encore PPF, and today we are working on a 2023 Toyota Sienna. We're going to be installing paint protection film on this front bumper, and in this video we're going to be just doing the white part of the bumper. So this is the XSE, and it's a sport model, so the bumper is a little bit different than some of the lower models, but they're probably relatively close. Except for this one just looks a lot better. I don't think it's more, that much. You know what I mean? What do we do last paint protection? If you know that, great, right? So I'm just, I'll say this one. We're doing even better. Huh? All right, let's go ahead and get you in here. All right, so like majority of the installs that we do, we're gonna go ahead and kind of start in this area here, and then work our way across and come back to this side. So let's go ahead and untack this. There we go. All right, so I'm just kind of trying to check right here for lining up. I'm also, keeping an eye over here, and then we want to look and see what this is going to look like. And that actually looks like it's lining up really well. So right about there looks good. So I'm really focused right here, right under here, and then across here. And then so we're gonna go ahead and leave this part for stretching down this way, because I'm pretty sure that just needs to turn a bit. So let's go ahead and from here, like this, over. All right. Okay, so that gives us a gray area where we're tacked down. Now we're gonna go ahead and go over to the other side. Okay. Yeah, that's getting to be a lot better now. That's really tacky, what was left in that hose. Okay, so we're coming across to this other side so that we can check and make sure everything lines up here, and that's going to tell us how much to stretch or not stretch as far as across the front. If you just start working your way across and then this doesn't line up, you're going to be pulling this back up. So let's go ahead and take a look at everything. Let's see right here. That's looking good. Yeah, right there looks good. Okay, that spot looks good. All right. So what I'm going to do now, it's kind of just the same thing here. We're going to take this down just like we did on the other side. All right, and now here in the middle, we just want to make sure, keep a good eye on this, that we're not going to be hanging over the edge. Let's not create any more work for ourselves. Looks like we've got a tiny little speck of dirt here. Yep. Okay, I don't know if you can, I hate to point that one out and then not point this one out. That's actually in the paint. This car had a little bit of damage over on that side, and so they resprayed part of the bumper and then cleared the whole thing, and unfortunately, well, they cleared that into the bumper. So okay, and then we'll go ahead. So what I'm gonna do is go run right along this this ridge right here. I don't know what you want to call that. It's like a body line right here on the face, and then we're going to, we can work our way down and then take the rest of this up. And I'm pushing like this with the card because we are going to be, you know, anything like this, I'm going to continually run into the grill. So turning my card around like this, I know it's a squeegee, but apparently I can't quit calling it a card. That allows us to tuck in underneath there. So that's why I hold it that way. And I'll kind of just continue. If I notice myself turning it different ways here for a different reason, I'll try pointing that out. I get a lot of people asking me that, and sometimes I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's just something I do, I don't think about it. So let's see if we can put some thought into that in this video. Okay, so this is just hanging. I'm gonna leave this hanging over there, and then we'll deal with that later so that we can get the rest of this down before it starts pre-tacking too terribly bad. Okay, so this does appear that it is going to require a little bit of stretching, and obviously you can see right here as well. So let's go ahead and get this back to here. My guess would be that we're just going to ride this edge all the way back to there. Okay, that came down a little too far right there. So let's fix that. So what I'm gonna do is actually kind of line this part up down here, and that's gonna help that just hop into place. Okay, and then I'm gonna squeegee this part and then take the rest of this up. Go ahead and pull, get this lined up real good right here. Did everything go okay with Nick so far? Or he hasn't replied, or?
Yeah, he said thank you. That he appreciated it.
Yeah, just say, well, thanks for letting us know. Huh. There's quite a few little spots in the paint now. All right, now that are repositions, let's go over that again. So we've got these lines here and then these fingers here, and so by pulling down on this a little bit, we are going to get rid of those and that. So we're hanging over. Let's get a little tack in there real quick. All right, so we see what we have here for what's hanging over. I want to kind of keep that semi-uniform and then make sure that we're lining up real good here. Okay, That's gonna look good. We're gonna go ahead and put a little tack there on the bottom. And then push that down. Definitely don't create yourself any problems by going over the edge. All right, and then from here, we're getting a little pre-tacking there. Oh my gosh. That's also in the paint. You do everything you can to clean the car real well, and I'm sitting here going, how am I getting so much dirt underneath the material? And it turns out, well, it's just in the paint still again. That's how. I'm not. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this over from here, just basically down to this body line here. Bring this over. And then we'll take this down a bit, and then we're gonna bring it out this way. Okay, let's get a little tack in there. Let's get some up here, and then I saw, yeah, there's some fingers right up here on the top. Okay. We'll get those down real quick as well. And then there's one there, and now, you guys ever went to go sit down? Have you ever went to sit back down and your chair wasn't there? I think that's only happened to me one time, where I stood up and I must have bumped it out from underneath me. Oh, that's a bad time right there. Okay, so these are popping up a little bit more, so let's go ahead. We're gonna go over the edge and do a swipe and hold. Now that part will stay down. This is going to be a very interesting area. I think it's going to go fairly well, but I think that it is going to take some, some decent little bit of effort to get that to go in there real nicely. And actually with these relief cuts, it's probably going to go fairly smoothly. There's another thing in the paint. Alright, so we know we need to line up right here. We need to make our way down here to this bottom. So, let's see, how do we want to do this? I'm almost thinking about tacking this bottom part in first, because we know where that pretty much needs to line up. And it's important that that lines up there, and then we'll come to here, and then we'll get all that in. And then we'll pull this over too. Yeah, I like that idea better than like going in there and then trying to make sure that this lines up. Let's just make sure this lines up first, and then we'll work everything else out. Okay. So, a little bit of tack in here. So I just did some tack just on the very edge. Okay, we'll go ahead and do a little squeegee that out. Get on down, get on down. Oh. Folded it over on itself a little bit right there. Get down. Okay. And we're gonna put this part in place. Let's get some tack in the, or some slip. Get some slip in the rest of this, and then we'll get some tack right on the edge here. Okay, that's all looking good. Okay, and that's looking really good. So let's get that edge down as well. Okay, this is gonna need a little bit of tack here. Will you please check my phone and see if we need to, he sent a couple more messages about something, just to see if there's anything else we need to say to him. A thank you, or I don't know, whatever. Okay, it looks like,
I'm sending you 2 bottles of tint.
let's see if we can work together in this space. All right. So we need to stretch this over into place here, and then also make sure that that's going to stretch and lay down. That looks like that should work out pretty well. That looks like that's going to go down correctly. Okay. Let's see if we can get rid of some of the air here. Folded it over, pushed it over on itself a little bit right there. Let's see what we can do about that. Basically, all you have to do is pull it back, and then you should be able to correct that. Alright, so I'm going to put that down to there now. And let's see what we can do with this. If we bring this down. Okay, that's looking good. I like it. I like it. Now we just need to make sure that we didn't stretch down too much here and leave ourselves with a bunch of extra material here, which it looks like we're going to be okay. another thing I like about having this card cut at this angle here, squeegee card, cut at this angle, is that it makes this part really flexible, which is nice for working into contours right there like that. Let's get a little tack in there. This bottom part wants to keep popping back up. All right, and the other thing I'm going to do is go over this one more time before we completely finish tacking this down and make sure we didn't leave any slip solution behind. Okay. Now let's see what we can do about this guy here. So I'm just pushing in, I'm going past the edge a little bit, or going all the way to the edge and then pushing down on this very edge back in there. All right, let's see what we can do up here now. Definitely gonna need a little tack around this finger here. And we're gonna kind of come at it this way and try to kind of spread that finger out a little bit. That's not working. Okay, so let's try to get some of that finger down this direction. Maybe even put a little tug on it here. Got a little something right there again, but once again I think that is actually under the paint. Just going over everything a couple times, make sure we got out all the slip and tack. That's all looking really good now. Okay. All right, so we are going to need some stretch in order to get rid of this finger here. And so let's go ahead and put a little tack at the end of this piece. Stretch until that, let's see, can we watch the finger and stretch? That looks really good right there. Just trying to make sure we don't go over this bottom at all. Oh. Okay, let's try that again. See, when I pushed like this, it's really easy to put too much pressure on the material and then bunch it up and then kind of fold it over on itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that little bit of tack on the very, so let's see, let's try that again. All right, we're starting over. So I get our slip in there, get our tack right on the edge, and then we're gonna go ahead and stretch this into place. Okay, go ahead and pull it this time instead of pushing it. All right, let's get all this rounded in then. Okay, so we worked up to this line here. Let's see, what's that guy? Okay, so we worked up to this corner here. Now let's go ahead and work around to the next corner, and then we'll finish wrapping this in, if it'll stay down on the next corner. And actually that's a good, just take that all the way back. Hopefully the GoPro's getting a good shot of that. I'm definitely blocking the Sony. Okay, now let's get this part down. Okay, we'll go ahead and work our way towards the top there, or this part here. Not necessarily the top, but all right, I'm gonna have to pull this back. I'm gonna pull it back right to about this line here so that we don't get a lift line in this, and then we're gonna try stretching this more. If you can see this big old gap right here, I don't like that. It's gonna be super visible to the customer. And it seems like if this whole piece was to shift forward a bit, that it would eliminate that. So let's give that a shot. I mean, it looks like we have pretty much the correct amount hanging over the back, but I don't know. All right, and we'll see. Maybe I won't even show you this side. Maybe we'll just go right to showing you the other side now that I learned a couple things on this, because I hate to be showing you how to do things incorrectly. That seems like a waste of everybody's time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eliminate some of this hangover here. We're gonna put some tack on this. Squeegee this out. All right, and let's see what we can do about getting this further over so that we can reach this piece here. Okay, let's get a little bit more slip in there. See what we can do with the stretching. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Looks like we could come down just a little bit here. Like right about there. And we're still getting a pretty good line there. Okay, so let's try that. I'll go ahead and take care of this now. Just gonna stick with the slip solution for now. And we'll see that this is a pretty wavy line right here now, which don't love that. Let's pull this back just a little bit and see if we can get this line to straighten out just a little bit. Just the more wavy that is, the more difficult the seam it's going to make in the seam. So all right, get some tack in there now and wrap this part back in again. Alright, just feeling for water and air bubbles left behind. Feels good. Alright, looks like that's going together real well. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Alright, so before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and show you that that line is way better this time. Alright, so because this has been sitting for a few minutes here, we're going to go ahead and squeegee out about a ½ inch or so and give ourselves a new line to stretch from. If you stretch from the line that's already been dry there, you're gonna leave a stretch mark in it. So doing a technique like this will definitely help eliminate that at minimum. It'll help lessen it. So, you know, this type of technique where you squeegee down to a new point will help at minimum lessen that, any type of a stretch line that might be in this area, and more than likely completely eliminate it. Let's go ahead now, and we're going to install this side a little bit different than the other side and see if it makes if it's more helpful in this area. So I'll probably show both sides of this bumper today, get it installed. Because if something goes smoother, well, then I may delete the other side. Well, we don't know. We don't know what I'm going to do. Because if this side goes a lot better, then why even bother showing you the other side? We'll just tell you not to pay attention to it? That doesn't make sense, does it? All right, well, let's get you out here. And let's get moving on this. All right, so let's watch this line here. And then we're going to come line up over here as well. So I'm going to start down here, and then we'll take the rest of this up. Alright, got a little finger right there. Let's demand it stays down with a little tack. Okay, then we'll get this lined up here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and bring this all the way down here. We are going to make a little adjustment to it and not let it go over so far like we did the other side, if I showed you the other side. So it is gonna hang over, but it's not gonna hang over this much, because on the other side that didn't work out too well for us. Okay, there. Feel like I'm feeling something here. Okay, there's a little, I don't know, dimple. It's not a dimple, it's sticking out. So you know what I want to call it. It's the opposite of a dimple, which, yeah. I call it nipple. Oh, I said it. What do you call that thing? Sticking out there on the paint. Okay, we're gonna bring this all the way down. Get some tack in that edge. Pump the sprayer up. Hey, do any of you guys put your tack solution in another keg? I don't, because I feel like that's too many hoses. I'm already dealing with one hose, and one hose seems like enough. All right, a little slide chomp. Looking good. Okay. Let's see what this looks like this time. Better. Okay, I like that, but we're gonna let that sit there for now, and we're gonna get this part in, because it's definitely more important. All right, so let's see what we can do with this part now. So I'm gonna do it a little bit different than I did on the other side, and I'm just gonna kind of work my way down instead of tacking the bottom down first, and we'll see if that is something that helps the install or if that makes it more difficult. All right, so first things first, I'm working my way down to this body line here. And then we're gonna try tucking this in right here and seeing what that looks like. That looks okay. So it looks like we can come down to right here before we're gonna need to put some stretch into this. I think I can get most of this guy to push out. I just put a tiny bit of pull on it to help get rid of some of that. Okay, and let's see what we can do about this guy too. All right, let's see now what we can do about getting rid of some of this here. That's just gonna take down and back a little bit. Okay. Let's make sure we've got good overhang here. Right back in here. And we'll squeegee this out. All right, place your bets. Place your bets. Is that under, damn it. Is that under the paint? It's gotta be under the paint, right? Or did I leave that under the material? Really, oh, that one's me. Oh. Okay, well, we found one. We found one that was me. Maybe two, but at least this one, you know? Maybe two on the whole install, but that one's on me. Okay, we'll go ahead and continue to work this over. So I basically just squeegeed out all the way up to the relief cut there, and then I followed it up immediately with my hand to hold it down, and that's gonna allow that to dry just a little bit. Stay stuck down. Okay. GoPro. Oh, everybody's overheating. All right, we're gonna go ahead and try and get a little bit of footage with this because I cannot leave this sitting here like this, or we're gonna get some stretch marks and things. Alright, and actually, I mean, I don't know. This way seems to be going pretty good. I think I'm going to show both ways, and then you guys pick for your install. Alright, let's get the rest of the way down. And I can feel stuff on the paint. Yeah, that was for something. Alright, so now we've got some tack in there. Let's go ahead and start getting this down. This guy here needs to split up just a little bit. We don't want him to keep continuing to come up over this ridge here because it's going to leave distortions in the adhesive. So we want to just bring it right to that body line, and then we're going to see what we can do about getting that to go down. Oh, I picked off a little piece of, there was a piece of lint right here, and unfortunately I did not take it off my finger before I touched this, and it got underneath there. There, it's gone though. Okay. That one doesn't want to stay down. We're going to give that one a little bit more tack, like so. Then we're going to just go ahead and continue to kind of chomp our way down. Try and get a little bit different angle on this. Here we go. Much better. All right, everything else looks like it went down really well in here. To be honest, I don't know which way I like better. I'm probably just going to show you both ways. They both seem to install pretty good, and they both, everything lined up correctly with both installs. Yeah, so you pick. Which way do you like better? You like the other side in here or this side better? I kind of think it's a toss-up. You know, what it really comes down to is, like, let's say I was working on like a black vehicle. That would, you know, you want the easier install for sure. That gives you the least possibility of leaving any type of stretch marks in the material. Okay, squeegee this out, across this part here. Let's get some tack in there now. Alright, so I went over this first body line, then we went to the second body line, and now we're going to finish wrapping it all the way in. At first I was kind of trying to take it up from the bottom like that, but it seemed like it definitely worked better to go from this top part here down. Okay, that looks really good. Let's take care of this now. Had a little water bubble I could see right there, and so I went ahead and went around to this is, because this is such a sharp edge, it is a little bit more flexible than, say, this edge, so this edge will put a lot more pressure on the material. Push that out. Alright, let's get some more tack in here. Let's wrap this on in. Okay, so this part here, I'm going to go ahead and just pull on this a little. You see how that just allows that to lay down right there? And then we'll make sure that everything is over this first body line, and then we're going to go for the next one. So just a little tug on it is helpful. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap this around kind of in the middle area, and then I'll work up. Okay, and then we'll work down. Just gonna hold this around the edge with my finger. All right, a little bit popping back up right here. So let's get some more tack in there. See if we can do kind of like a swipe and hold in there. dry it out so we can see what it looks like. All right, looking good. All right, let's go ahead and get this part down here. And then we'll get on the bottom part. So I'm basically just chomping this down. All right, made our way over to a couple of fingers here now. Let's get those down. Looks like I got a tiny little pocket of air here. And because this is a white vehicle, I can pull this back up. And let's get that little pocket out so I don't have to use a needle on it. If this was a black vehicle, I definitely would not be doing this. I would just hit that with the syringe. Okay, I don't know why I was using that other little card. Let's do a slide chomp on this now and just make sure we got everything off of this off this little, I don't know what that's called, on that body line or the edge or on that thing. All right, great. Dry that out. Let's see how things are looking down here. A little piece popping up right there. That's looking good. With the paint work, we do have a little bit of, you could see that when they were spraying the paint on, it was a little dry right there. So I hope that the material is going to stick down right there well enough around all that and not allow dirt to come in from the edges, you know. Paint protection really likes a smooth surface to get a good bond and not let dirt under. But when they spray on the paint a little dry, you do end up with, you can end up with, you know, leaving some little air pockets in there, and then the edges don't want to seal down real good and the dirt comes in. I'm talking too much. That's another one. I'm just messing with stuff that turns out it's just another one of those dry areas. I can feel it. The paint feels all rough right there. All right, I'm gonna change Sony battery, and then we're gonna get on this bottom piece here, and then we're gonna call this bumper good. All right, let's get this bottom part put on. Sorry about all the noise. There's somebody out blowing the asphalt parking lot. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring this seam together here first. So I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing this material into itself, or pushing this material into this material, and just trying to get that seam real tight so we don't have a seam that's going to collect any dirt. of squeegee that out, you know, kind of gently. Okay, that looks good right there. There's a tiny little thing, if you can see that, popping up right there. So I want that guy to stay down right now. Perfect. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is just come to here. We're going to come to basically this area right here. And then we'll go work on the other side, make sure that this seam on the other side lines up real good, and then we'll come back and take care of the center. So we're just kind of watching up here, make sure we're keeping a nice straight line. We're not hanging over on the bottom. All the things. So a little tack all the way around that. Okay, so basically we're gonna know right from about here, we need to take everything that direction when we get back over here. Nice close-up of this seam coming together. Alright, so I was hanging over a little bit there, so I just kind of massaged back and forth like this, and that pushes this piece back a little bit and levels those two out so it's not hanging over anymore. And then down here, the material does dart off that direction. This piece does, so we're going to need to do a little stretch that way. But we don't want it coming all the way up from up here because that's real tight right there. So I'm going to hold that with my finger, and then let's get a little more slip under there. I'll hold this and then I'll try to, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. Same thing again. We'll make our way over to this line, and then actually on this one we're just going to continue all the way across to the other side. So let's get some tack all in here. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of hit this bottom with a little bit of tack. I could put a little on the top as well. Make sure this face is down real good here. And then we'll work our way up and down. Slide chomp. Okay. And then let's go ahead and take this up. All right, so I'm just kind of drying this out up here. Make sure the edges are all stuck down. Terrific. Little finger there. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, all right. So what do you guys think as far as this install right here? Which side did you like better? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. The only thing that's gonna be left to do is to do a little bit of wrapping into the wheel wells and then have to heat seal all of the edges. Terrific, that's it. Appreciate you taking a look. If you found anything useful or helpful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.